Okay guys, for this video, the worksheet that you're going to be working on is value scale, rubbing, drawings, and collage to stimulate textile. This should be a nice review for you guys. So what I'm going to do to speed up the process so you're not having to watch a hour-long video is I'm actually going to use a marker. What you need to do though is you need to use a pencil for this project. Stippling is one of the terminologies that you should have already looked up and researched. Stippling is dots. Dots are used together, as you guys can see here, in collaboration. The closer they are together, the darker your image will get, and that's how we create value with a stippling texture. You guys can see I'm going in here, and I'm going to always start my value scale dark to light. I'm going to write that up here. Just so we can get a nice friendly reminder. And as I'm going through and creating my stippling, I'm going to use less and less dots in each box. And the less dots I use, the lighter my image gets. This is far more productive when using a pencil, of course, or a pen. Alright? And what I do always when I go back for the value scales, because I'm always kind of guessing at how dark my value will get and how different it will get. As of right now, you can't really see much of a variation between light and dark. So I'm having to go through and add more of my darker values so that that value scale does in fact change. And I will be checking and grading based off of, do I see a value difference? Alright, yeah, I see dots that are fewer here, but I'm not seeing much of a value difference. So you will have to go back, and you will have to, unfortunately for you, fill in some of these spaces so that we can actually see a change in our value. Because if there's not a change in a value, we automatically fail the project. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a variation between light and dark. And if we can't see that, then we're not doing very well with our job. So now you can kind of see how the scale is changing. The next one is hatching. Hatching is diagonal lines all going in the same direction. And again, with hatching, they're all going in the same direction, and we want to keep that consistent direction through our value scale. We don't want to start crisscrossing different directions. And same here. The lighter we want it to be, the less lines we use. So that you can see that value scale. Now, I got a blank spot over here. I can't quite leave that blank. So we're going to go in and we're going to add a few lines just to guarantee that we are doing good with our value scale. Alright? And again, going back through and making sure that we have that variation that we're actually looking for between light and dark. Next line is cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is hatching, and then you actually do another set of hatching on top of it, going in an opposite direction. So that allows for a nice clean texture. Hatching and cross-hatching is really popular in architecture, in interior design, and automotive design. So usually when we're doing something really technical, that's when hatching and cross-hatching comes in. Stippling is pretty popular with just drawings and shadings, fine details. You can get that really nicely and beautifully with fine details. Our Art 3 is going to work on a project with stippling. So you can see a variety of that, and you can probably actually see some of your classmates actually doing that as well. These last sections, yes, you have to do these last sections. For some reason, people always kind of skip that. What you're going to do is you're going to go over and you're going to pick a texture from somewhere in the room. I love using the concrete block walls that you see in the room. Also, the locker has like 3 different textures on it that tend to be perfect for this project. So I'm just going to do one project. I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, so I used a concrete wall. I used the side of my marker. If I'd used a pencil, you would have had a better rubbing. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to, I'm not going to give you crayons, we're just going to use our pencils. It actually looks better with pencils than the crayon rubbings. But what you're going to do is you can walk around the room and you can get your 3 textures. No, it cannot be a desk or the table. It has to be something that is textured. You can't have a smooth texture. That's just cheating. So you get your actual texture. And the next one is you're visually recreating it using your visual textures that we've created up here. Alright, so I'm just going to come through and I'm going to eyeball it. Looks like I got a lot of hatching in here. Okay, and then I'm going to use stippling to try to recreate these dots, these little holes in my concrete that I did. Your actual texture will look different than your visual texture, and that's the first sign that I can tell that you cheated and you just did a texture rubbing for both sections. If I catch you doing that, you fail the project automatically. Alright? You can see the difference. And this is even me doing it. You can see the difference. Your actual texture will look different from your visual texture. It's not a perfect rendition. I don't want it to be a perfect rendition. I want you to try your best to recreate the actual texture using a visual texture. And you can see they're similar enough to where it counts. And I can tell the difference between what's real and what you've tried to recreate yourself. And that's so vital and so important that you're trying to recreate this yourself. By just simply doing an actual rubbing for both sections, it doesn't work. And you're not going to be successful in this project. The whole concept, the whole idea is you're trying to recreate texture so that you can create a barn drawing, or that you can create animal hair, that you can create these nice realistic images, or you can create a building and have them look really beautifully done. I have faith that you are more than talented enough to take care of this, and I look forward to seeing your projects. These are due Friday.